Good afternoon. Hey, I'm Chef Nathan Richard over at Kingfish restaurant in New Orleans, Louisiana. And today we're going to be making one of our roadside snacks, Boudin. Boudin is one of the oldest sausages produced in Cajun country in South Louisiana. And we have, to start with, is pork shoulder, some chopped up pork liver. What makes mine set different from everybody else, I actually use the heart, some pork heart. So nothing goes to waste from the pig. You use everything completely. Then we have, of course, our Cajun Trinity with garlic, bell peppers, onions. And then we have our seasoning right here and some fresh green onions. Nothing goes wrong in my mind, finishing a great dish with green onions. So we're going to start with by adding the pork into our bowl. We'll take our pork liver. Oops, sorry about that, and as well as the pork hearts. Okay, everybody gets a little afraid of the heart, but in all naturality, the pork heart is just a huge muscle. It's just another muscle of the pig or the cow. So don't be afraid. Try it. You know, if you don't like it, then it's a different story. And then we're going to go add our Cajun Trinity with little peppers and mix the peppers into that. Then we'll go ahead and add our seasoning blend, which is salt, pepper, cayenne, white pepper, black pepper, if I didn't say it. And then we're just going to go ahead and mix this up. I prefer using cast iron because of the cooking and the ability to equal the seasoning into there. So we're going to go ahead and add that into there, into our pot. We'll kind of brown it off a little bit because it's very important that you lock in all those natural flavors. When you sear something, you're searing it for the color, but you're also searing it to lock in all that moisture. So once that the meat's good and brown, we're going to go ahead and add pork stock. If you don't have pork stock available, feel free to use pork stock, chicken stock. If it comes down to it, add a little bit of water. But we all know water doesn't have any flavor to it unless you use some of that Mississippi water from out of the Mississippi River. So we just go ahead and pour that on top of that. Right on top. And then we're going to get our cover. And we're just going to cover it up, and we're going to let that braise for 2 to 3 hours till it's nice and tender. So once it's braised, you want to go ahead and pull it, and you want to strain it. But the key is to not waste your stock. Okay, you want to keep your stock. That's where all your flavors at. That's where all the true flavors that developed into there. So in here we just have our stock that was left over that we're going to reuse in a minute to show you what's going to happen. So once you get to this point, there's two things you can do. You can go ahead and grind it through a large die, usually a 10 millimeter die, which I like to use. Or if you don't have a die, you can go ahead and hand chop it. You chop it up, all the bell peppers, the onions, and all that. So it's no big a deal that the bell peppers are really big. But you can see how nice it's coming out right now. Exactly what we want. Man, I tell you, it's smelling more better than good in here right now. So once our boudin is grind, as you can see, it's nice and grind real good. Man, you can smell it right now. It smells a lot more better than good right now. So right here we had some rice out of Crowley, Louisiana, and we're just going to go ahead and add a couple of cups into that. That looks about, we'll call it 3 cups right there. We'll save that for later just in case we need it. We're going to go ahead and mix that all in. Real good. And this is a very important time because back then in Louisiana we were poor. So rice, for the Cajun people, we always stretched our meals with rice. So that's why the big difference between Cajun and Creole cooking is due to rice. So next, we'll add some fresh green onions, or in my part of the woods we call it some shallots. And we'll mix that up. And then we'll go ahead and add the fresh boudin stock. And it's very important for this because this is where all your flavors at. If you remember, when we seasoned all the meat, we had all the salt, all the pepper going into there, and this is where all the flavors at. So you got to be very careful with this and what you're adding because you want it just right, depending on your preparation. We're going to go ahead and pipe this into sausage and make some Cajun popsicles, as I like to call them as I was a kid. You want to be very, very careful with this part because the casing could pop on you. So you just kind of take your time. And as you can see, you just kind of fill it up the next step is to go ahead and tie it off. Where we're at right now, it's perfect for at least one serving for me, maybe 2 or 3 for yourself. So we just kind of go ahead and cut back the casing, and we are using all natural casing. So this is the actual intestines of the pig. Like I said earlier, you don't want any of this to go to waste. So depending on the size or length that you want to do, depending on where you tie it off, I like to do, to me, this is a nice, good serving right there. So I go ahead and kind of twist it a little bit, kind of mark it. And the trick to this is tying off the lengths. All right, so I like to cook my Boudin in a hot skillet. You can grill it, you can steam it, you can do whatever you want. But I like to get a nice sear on it, get that casing nice and crunchy. So here we got a little bit of olive oil in a hot pan. We're just going to go ahead and put our link in. You can listen to it break dance right now. Look at that sausage break dance. It's a wonderful sound. So just go ahead and let that cook for a good 10 minutes. We'll flip it halfway through the cooking process. And then you have it, one of Louisiana's original fast food road snacks, Boudin. Y'all come see me now.